So the photo we have today is a colour photo, but as you can see, it's got some damage from the developing process. So what I'm going to do is, using the ruler tool, find the horizon line and straighten up the image. Now sometimes I'll use generative fill or generative expand on the background, but today I'll just crop into the border of the image. Select the curves layer. Now I'm going to use this to try and correct the worst of the colour issues away. So selecting the red channel, you can see I'm pulling red out of the image. Obviously it makes the whole image go a bit crazy, so what I need is a mask. So I'll go to the gradient tool in the mask layer and then select a little left and right gradient to mask the effect of the colour correction. And with that in place, you can see that it's helped a lot. Still not right, but now going back into the colour curves here and selecting the red channel again, I can start to adjust it dynamically. It's a live layer and I can play around with that to get to roughly the right space. I'm just exploring with whether or not I make it a more complex curve or just do a simple correction and work on top of that later. It's a little bit trial and error, well, for me at least, this part of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is select both those layers and duplicate them, and then flatten or merge those two layers. So it's basically a flattened down version of what I have above. And I'm going to turn that to color. So basically, if I paint in this layer, all I'm going to be doing is painting color, none of the tone, none of the brights or darks or whites or the blacks. And so I can sample from one side of the image and start to paint color across to the other side. So by sampling the colour of the water on one side of the image, I can paint that watercolour onto the other side. So again, this is non-destructive because I got close with the colour curves, but not as close as I would have liked. Again, I'm trying to find variation in colour, so I don't just do a single green on the grass or a single blue in the water. You can see the faint little line of red there, still present from where that grade that I did, or the gradient, wasn't perfect. Checking my levels, just putting a little bit more contrast into the image. Now what I'm going to do is copy that mask from the, I never get it right. So now I just have that mask on the levels layer, and when I adjust the levels, you can see it's just adjusting the left hand side of the image just playing with the contrast and values, adjusting the gamma. And now I'm going to merge that down because I'm relatively happy with that. Build one more layer, set it to color, and just keep painting variation into the color, particularly around the grass. I was still not happy with that. Now selecting the heal tool, I can just go through and take some of the dots and spots off the image. This image isn't very dirty, but it always pays to give it a little cleanup. As you can see, the hands on the boy are still quite green, but I'll get to those. A new layer, set to color once again, and I keep painting. Collapse it down, merge layers basically, put another little correction in there, just making sure that the top and bottom part of the black and white are matching the histogram, and into neural filters just for a bit of an AI cleanup. Again, not a fan of the face enhancement. Like to have that turned right down if at all. Just looking to remove some grain and some artifacts from the image. And there you have it, the original cleaned up